Hi, and welcome to another episode of your favorite show, Reviewing for the SOL. So, today we're going to be talking about equations. And what is an equation, you may ask? Equations are expressions that have an equal sign. In here, we have the parts of an equation. We have 3x minus 1 equals 5. So, the whole thing, it's going to be the equation. But the number before the variable is the coefficient. The minus, plus, times, or dividing, it's going to be our operator. These two numbers are going to be our constants. The three things by themselves are going to be called terms. And the equal sign tells us that whatever's on the left side, it's going to be equal to the right side. So, how to solve an equation? We're going to start with fact families to guide you through it. In here, we have fact family 2, 4, 6. We have n plus 4 equals 6. And we're trying to figure out the value of the variable of n. So, in here, we know that we're adding two numbers to get to 6, but we also can write 6 minus 4 equals that number that we don't know. So 6 minus 4 equals 2. So my variable n is going to be equal to 2. In this other example, we have 5, 10, and 15. Our equation is n minus 5 equals 10. We know that we have 10 and 5. In here, we're subtracting. So what do? We add 10 plus 5 equals n. We want to know what this variable is equal to. So 10 plus 5 equals 15. So that variable is 15. If we put 15 here, we subtract 15 minus 5, it's going to be equal to 10. In here, this is another example, but with multiplication. We have 2n equals 6. So in here, we're multiplying. So if we want to find out which value is here for the variable, we're going to divide. 6 divided by 2 equals n. So n is going to be equal to 3. And in division, we have 6, 7, and 42. We have n divided by 7 equals 42. So in here, we're dividing. So to know which number I have to divide, we're going to multiply 42 times 7 equals n. And n, it's going to be equal to 42. In the next one, we're going to be looking at step by step on how to solve them. In the equation, x plus 2 equals 6. Then step number 1, it's look at the opposite number to leave that variable by itself. So the opposite operation of addition is going to be subtraction. So we subtract in both sides to have a balance in that equation, because what we do in one side, we do in the other side. So in here, step 2, we subtract. So 2 minus 2 equals 0, and 6 minus 2 equals 4. So step 3 is rewriting the equation without the 0. So it's going to be x equals 0. If you want to check, you substitute that 4 into the variable and check. 4 plus 2 equals 6. So this is correct. In this, we're doing x minus 4 equals 8. Step 1, first thing, what is the opposite operation of subtraction? Is going to be addition. We need to get this x by itself. So we subtract, we add in both sides. Negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. And 8 plus 4 equals 12. And then we rewrite x equals 12. And in these two examples, we're going to be working with multiplication and division. And in the step one, you see that we are always going to look for the opposite operation of what the equation is doing. So in here is multiplication. So the opposite operation of multiplication is division. So we divide by 3 in both sides. It's very important that you do it in both sides. Remember always. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So n, it's going to be equal to 3. In here we have division. N divided by 6 equals 2. So we do our opposite operation, and the opposite operation of division is going to be multiplication. So we multiply by 6 in both sides. So if we multiply by 6, it's going to be 6n divided by 6 equals 2 times 6 equals 12. So when we divide 6 divided by 6, you get 1n equals 12, and then you rewrite it as n equals 12. It is very important that you see that when we're adding up subtracting, we want our number to become 0. But when we're multiplying or dividing in our equations, we want our number to become 1. Now we're going to go to solving inequalities. It's the same process as solving equations, but just with the inequality signs. In here, we subtracted. The opposite operation of addition is subtraction. So we subtract in both sides. 3 minus 3 equals 0, and 7 minus 3 equals 4. So x is going to be less than 4. In here we have x minus 9 is greater than 3. Same thing. The opposite operation of subtraction is going to be addition. So we add 9 in both sides. What we do in one side, we do it in the other one. So 9 minus 9 plus 9 is going to be equal to 0. And 3 plus 9, it's going to be equal to 12. So we have that x is greater than 12. And in this two, we have another two types of signs. This is going to be less than or equal to. So we have 4n is less than or equal than 12. So step one, we look for the opposite operation. Here we're multiplying. Opposite operation is going to be dividing by 4 in both sides because we want this to become 1. 4 divided by 4 equals 1, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So n is going to be less than or equal to 3. In this one, we have n over 3. It's going to be greater than or equal to 5. Same thing. We want to do the opposite operation. And here we're dividing. So we're going to multiply by 3 in both sides. When we multiply, we have 3n over 3. And 5 times 3, it's going to be equal to 15. When we divide 3 divided by 3, we got 1n. It's greater than or equal to 15, or n is greater than or equal to 15. In here, we're going to be graphing inequalities. So this is the key. If you want to use the less than, it's going to be an open circle, and the arrow is going to be facing the negative numbers. You're going to go to this side. This is why you see here it's less than, it's open to this left side. Same here. Greater than, it's going to be open circle, and it's going to go to the right side. Less than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle, and it's going to be to the left side. And greater than equal to, it's going to be closed circle, but it's going to go to the right side. And graphing inequalities, we